Hello my friends, how are you today? I'm Andreas from Motorfanatics and welcome to a new video. You've heard this for the first time in this video. I've recorded this for maybe the fourth or fifth time because we are currently trying to make an ASMR video and our camera equipment refused to work, especially the mounting kits for in-car video footage. So I hope this time it works, this time you will see it, this time I can use it as an intro. So in this episode you're gonna see me install the Turbotimer and see me install the Rockford Fosgate speakers, and we even make a small sound check. Now I have slight issues overtaking, unfortunately. Oh, everything's empty, nice. In addition to that, while making the sound check, you will see old footage I recorded of the sound check with the previous camera setup that didn't work out. So you can get an impression how bad this try to make an ASMR video started. So I'd suggest enough talk, let's jump to the workshop. See you there, guys. So, welcome in my new parts corner. Now that I'm not self-evicted from my own workshop anymore, at least I gave myself a corner. I already showed you for some screws, for some parts, all the oily bits, big tools. Now let's get to the interesting part, car parts. So I'd suggest we start with car parts and especially the Subaru parts because I've got them all right next to me in a red box, which some of you may have seen on our Instagram account. From time to time we are going to switch to this little small cam to give you a better look of what's currently happening, and that's the Subaru box. First of all, HKS SSQV Type 3, an original one. A very nice loan of the skylight. Then, you guys might remember I had a few issues with not fitting speaker adapters mounts, so I got myself another 3D printer and printed them myself. The eagle eye viewers may see there are no holes for the bolts, which is because I don't have the exact measurements. I just drill the holes when I mount them. So these belong to those two Rockford Fosgate boxes. Here are some 3-inch harnesses, two of them of course, which I can't mount because, unfortunately, the harness bar did not arrive yet. That's the rest of the harnesses. Oh, these are plugs for the audio system. Oh yeah, everybody just sent us stickers. Wires for the audio system, tweeters, you have seen those, and that's so much for the Subaru parts. Now let's see. Yeah. The Subaru story. Not new, old parts. I got the car back. The service was partially done. They could not replace the spark plugs because they were too tight. Presumably they could not replace the brake fluid because the little bleeder valves were too tight. But they could replace the water pump, which looked okay-ish, the old one. They could replace those, which still were okay-ish. Pulley was okay too. Yeah, so that's pretty much for the trash. here comes the problem child. Here we have the cam covers. And as you can see, they are not supposed to look exactly like that. Come on, focus. It's not like they look completely broken, but these nuts and washers are not supposed to be there. Focus. Brainlet. Thank you. These are not supposed to be here. They are supposed to be in the other side, which they are not anymore because the housing has cracked. And that pretty much goes for all the parts from the timing belt cover. This is a crank pulley, which supposedly was damaged. Hard to say, but I doubt it. The bearing has seen better days. And the other pulley, way worse than the first one, because there, it's missing a piece of the teeth, which in worst case can mean that your timing belt jumps a tooth and your valves have an untimely date with your piston, which is not good at all. So the rest is from the timing belt kit. These spark plugs were fake. The rest of the kit was fine. Yeah, so much to it. So this is all for the junk too. So to make it short and simple, we've got our Turbotimer and our homemade 3D printed speaker adapters, along with some Takata belts I can't use because the harness bar hasn't arrived yet. Got some cleaning stuff, cleaning appliances for the car. Got some release solution for injectors and spark plugs as well. Got some color-coded paint cans for the Subaru. Got a nice two-channel hydraulic e-brake with tools for making new brake lines. Got a release bearing for the skyline and a riveting tool to rivet threaded inserts. Nice. Talking about, is the Turbotimer real, is it not? Parking brake and the glay wire, let me doubt it. In addition to that, this is an original HKS Turbotimer harness for the Subaru. This fits most Turbotimers, like the Apex one, the real Apex one. Now watch this and this, which looks fitting on first glance, but it does not. But why doesn't it? If you take a look at that, they have copied the plug, but mirrored. So they goofed it up. So now I have to find a way to ungoof it. So I will probably just cut a notch in here and make it fit. In addition to that, it has the same wires as the original Apex one. This is the regular box. The gray wire will go to the parking brake or to any other way of ground. The black one is ground in general. The white one goes to your O2 sensor signal going into the head unit or coming from the head unit. More like going into it. ECU, not head unit. The thing is, a wire to grab a signal is always a wire to send a signal. And I don't want this piece of China equipment to toy around with my O2 values. So we keep that away as far as we can from our ECU and only use the regular ones for ignition 1 and 2 and regular 12 volt. So let's have a look how we do it. So the whole thing needs to move there. I guess we can cut it open anyway. It's not getting worse. Now is it? blue, green and red. Everyone back in its place. This should give us a solid enough connection. If you ever work on a high value project, don't do it like that. That's not the right way to work on any kind of high value car. It's one thing if it's for your own car, if it's for a customer or some kind of high value car. If you notice you get something which is in all likelihood very fake, don't use it, send it back, get your money back and be happy. After assembling the Turbotimer harness, the next thing will be to get the Subaru inside. So let's do this. And there it is, magic, ladies and gentlemen. So let's start with the Turbotimer inside. Let me show you. We unscrewed this part. That's part of the that's part of the fuse box. If you can see it, camera won't focus. Here we go. That's part of the fuse box. There's yet another screw in the back, but that's okay. You just need to get to those plugs and unplug them. Here we go. In between one side and the other. There we go. And now we need to wire this thing right up there. So what we just did now was unclip the radio cover, and there's a small slit right over here. You can probably see my finger. And we're gonna try to get the little control box right through there, which unfortunately does not seem to work, which is a big deal because we clipped it in there. I need to loosen that clip and go the other way around. 1 second.
A few moments later.
I will return to this piece now, and we need to get the cable from the display right down the side and out there. It would be way smarter to have it done beforehand. Great job.
1 hour later.
So I managed to put it there. Don't ask how, but I'm proud to say I did not remove the radio unit. So now a little bit of brake cleaner to make the surface clean. And now we're gonna put on the sticky tape. So what I did now test was if both wires need to be on ground. The gray one simulates the handbrake, and if other people have access to your cars, for the love of God, put it on your e-brake, on your handbrake, because it makes the engine shut off if somebody loosens the e-brake. And the other one is a general ground, because I know who will use this car. I will connect both wires and screw them on one of these screws, but not just like that. Focus, I will fabricate something that makes it look good. Unfortunately, I have to redact my last statement because I didn't find the right tools for now. So I will just make it work and make it look good the next time. Trust me.
1 eternity later.
And now we've got this little piece, which we will just put underneath there and screw it down. And now, hopefully, the final test. Here we go. It beeps. Car runs. The fuel meter is not connected. Battery is there. Oh! That's slightly low voltage. So the alternator is probably not loading correctly and you can't see shit. It should be around 14 volts, not 12. So maybe it's time for a new alternator sometimes. Someday. And now we're gonna switch it back off and listen if the engine still runs. The turbo timer took over. It's counting down. The key is right hanging there. And now we wait. And that's how we install a turbo timer. And the last part for today should be replacing the speakers. We finally should have everything we need. I will spare you watching me again take the front door cards off, so we're going to do that as a quick forward. The second part is a little bit more difficult. We're going to need our speaker, need our mounts we made, and a drill, preferably a wood drill, which just so barely fits. And now we need something to support our little construction. I just took two equally sized pieces of wood, find the center with the tip of the wood drill, and carefully pre-drill all 3 holes. It may be that not all holes are spaced equally from the manufacturer side, so there's sometimes a top marking. Just make a small dent with your drill to mark your top and you're safe. And there's something else different. I attached an additional pair of cables. Although they don't look the same color, they are in the right polarity because they're copied from the original wire, of which I took a piece and added some custom plugs out with this cheap plug box. The thing was, I didn't know how to attach the tweeters. The first idea was to remove those small wires and put them further inwards, so to have more space to put the original wires on top here. That didn't work, so I had to make my mind up and decided to just solder on some new wires with a custom plug. Here's the tweeter with the other side, and now we're going to go to the car and test it. So I was so brave that I decided to just put one screw in there and in there, just to have it somehow attached. All the wires are connected. So here we go, starting the car. Please ignore the beep. Now the radio starts closely after. It works. Nice. So here we have it. The aftermath. It's far too late. I've spent far too much time resoldering and rewiring the speakers, drilling the adapter plates, but now it's done. So I'm going to look for some royalty-free, copyright-free music, and then we have a test. So guys, I'm back on my way from the workshop. The weather is still not becoming any less rainy. The whole ASMR camera setup does not seem to work very well, but as you guys have seen, the Turbotimer now is really in there and working. and the speakers are in. So I'd suggest we're gonna give them a test. I don't know if you guys can pick it up, but the clarity is very good. The mid-tones and high tones are sounding quite nice as well. Now let's wait for some bass. Well, of course, there are a few issues. For one, we've got no dedicated bass speaker. And for the second, the doors and everything else is still regular Subaru. There's no soundproofing, no dampening, nothing. Which means we're gonna have to live with a little rattle here and there. But I think it's far better than before. So, see you next time, guys. Like, share and subscribe. And I'm gonna do some ASMR testing, make the camera work somehow. And even if you can't see me anymore now, we can see each other next time. Bye bye.